Hi there, everyone. This is Intuitive Chef Gail coming to you from Food Revelation. And there's my kitty cat. First off, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day because I know everybody is super busy and I really appreciate it. This is going to take about 10 minutes if I don't ramble, and I'm not planning to. The day has finally arrived to launch the evolution of free health. The book has been writing itself over the last 7 years through my experience as a food and medical intuitive, and through all the Food is Talking intuitive food compatibility sessions. And what I've decided that I want to share the most important parts in a video series. And I call the video series The 7 Missing Links to Abundant and Sustainable Health. So first off, what is the evolution of free health? Well, it's actually the remembrance of our God-given natural health. Our health is natural and it's free. And as a matter of fact, we're not free if we're a slave to chronic disease or medical industry, right? Like I said, over the last 7 years, I've had some amazing ahas. I call them revelations. And these are the 7 missing links that I just spoke of. And some of them are so logical, you're going to set up and go, whew, how did we ever forget the most logical, simple truths about health and healing? Well, we forgot over time. We forgot as we became disconnected from our natural food source, and as we became disconnected from nature, period. And as we come to rely upon sources outside of ourselves to dictate, what's actually good and compatible and healthy for our own body actually knows what it needs. That's what Food is Talking is all about. So in these videos, I'm going to share these 7 revelations with you, and I'm actually going to share them in the order that I receive them. And this is important because if I'd received the 7th one in the very beginning, I would have discarded it because it didn't line up with what I already knew, what I'd already learned, what the world had already taught me. And so I wouldn't have been ready for it. It wouldn't have made sense to me. So I'm going to walk you along the same path because I know what's going to happen is that you're going to come along just like I did. And by the time you get to the 7th one, you're going to go, whoa, wow, that makes complete sense, right? And so also I want to ask you to share all of this because, we evolve as we become involved. And absolutely nothing changes until we change our mind. I've had my mind blown over and over again. And now I look forward to having my mind blown because I know something, magical is getting ready to happen. And then I had this aha too. I realized that as I heal my own body, that I'm actually helping to heal the planet because what's good for our own body is actually good for the planet as well. And so that makes complete sense to me, And for those of you that like to read, you don't like to watch me on video, I'm going to leave a written version below each video. And some people can actually read a whole lot faster. That's not me, but there's a lot of people out there that can do that. Save you a little time. So anyway, a little bit of history about myself. For those of you that don't know me, how did this happen, right? I call myself an unlikely, organically grown food and medical intuitive because it wasn't a learned thing. It was a real revealed thing. It was revelation, and it came as a huge, huge surprise to me. And so the short story is, and by the way, I tell more of this in this book here. This is actually the first book in a series of the evolution of free health. It's a very gentle, tasty guide into what this is all about. I realize that a lot of people don't get healthy because they think that healthy food just doesn't taste good. Well, I'm a big foodie. If it doesn't taste good, it's like, what is the point? Well, I guarantee you that, that you're not going to suffer on the journey to health if you just, stay tuned. Nobody wants to suffer. I get that. So I also tell more of that journey. The full journey will be included in the Evolution of Free Health book, which, I'm working on as I do these videos. I'm going through the publishing process. Okay. So what happened? I started working my passion at 53 years old. So I just gave my age away. Okay. So my passion was food. It's always been food. I was cooking in the kitchen with my dad. I was creating recipes when I was just 11 years old. It took me to 53 to decide to work it. And when I did, I started Food Revelation, and it was focused on recipe creation and plant-based cooking classes. And shortly thereafter, I had an awakening. I woke up. And the only way that I can really describe it is the biggest aha ever. It was super intense. And I became aware that I'm not a body. I became aware that I'm not these five senses. It was a hyper awareness that lasted about 4 days. I'm sure it's not sustainable. And I've had other moments, but nothing like that, nothing that intense, you know, that lasted that long. The effects were like life-changing. As a matter of fact, I can never go back to where, you know, what I was, ever. I'm the most happy person. I mean, I wasn't before then. It's just really amazing. And the most life-changing were the fact that I walked into my intuitive gifts. I mean, they just pretty much showed up right away. And it shouldn't surprise me, they revolve around my creative passion. So because, you know, we're most connected, most in the flow and most connected with our creator when we're creating, right? So create, you know, I'm creating all the time. I'm creating something new all the time. So what happened is at first I realized with these gifts that I could actually intuit what my own body needed. I wasn't very healthy at the time. I had some problems, heart problems, blood pressure problems, that kind of thing. And as I followed my body's lead, because also all I was doing is listening to my body, then I stepped into my own God-given health. And as a matter of fact, I think I might be getting younger. I actually slalom skied for the first time in 7 years for my 60th birthday. In August, I had no problem doing it, which totally blew me away, right? I didn't expect that. So when I realized, after my own body got well, I realized that I could actually do this for other people. And Food is Talking was born. The food charts actually were downloaded. I woke up with them one morning. I couldn't get to my computer fast enough. And then shortly after that, I realized that everybody has this intuitive ability. And all they need to do is remember it. And so after that, I realized that I could help people remember their own intuition, and I created the workshops. So basically, you know, the food and body is always having a conversation, and I'm listening, and you can learn to listen to. So that's a short story. And over time, my gifts have expanded. You know, I do other things now, but Food is Talking is still the main focus of what I do. And I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people walk into their God-given health. And much to my surprise, some of them are pretty well known celebrities. And so I know this thing, it's time, you know, for this thing to expand. You know, the bottom line is the body knows how to heal itself. If you've ever cut your finger or skinned a knee or broken a bone, you know, you really know this simple truth you've just forgotten. And the evolution of free health is just going to remind you of what you already know. So does this mean that, you know, we don't need doctors and we don't need medicine and we don't need hospitals? No, absolutely not. Thank God, you know, for the trauma centers, because we're probably going to keep having accidents and we're going to keep having acute situations. But the bottom line is that our maintaining our health is our responsibility. And the evolution of free health is all about taking that back and taking back control. And so stay tuned for the first missing link. It's a real doozy. And it is, time does not stand still, and neither do our bodies. Now, can you imagine, you know, all the health implications of that missing link? And so until next time, here's to your peace and your joy and your love and your health. Thank you so much for listening. Talk to you soon. Bye.